Okay, in this tutorial we're going to learn how to take a bitmap and trace it automatically using Flash. So I already have in my library this character that I traced manually, and that's all good and well. But in some instances you might want to go a little bit quicker, and you don't need the detail that I have in this particular piece of art. And if you don't need that kind of detail, then using the trace bitmap function in Flash might be a good solution. So I'm going to switch over to Chrome here. I've already searched for a character that I want to get in using Google image search. I'm going to right click, copy image, flip back to Flash, right click, and paste that image. Okay. All right, and so go ahead and pause the video and grab one more character from Google Image and import it into Flash. Okay, and I'm going to assume that you've already done that. Again, if not, pause the video here and do it. But let's go on. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see a little bit more detail on what this is doing. I'm going to go up to the Modify menu and go to the Bitmap menu and then click on Trace Bitmap. And then if I click on Preview, we can see what it's doing. So here, if the color threshold, if you set it very low, you'll see that we get a lot of various different colors, and it's fairly detailed. If you set it very high, then it loses detail, but it's a lot easier load for Flash to bear. And I tend to find that somewhere around the 50 to 100 range works pretty well. And then the same thing applies with the minimum area of pixels to be traced. If you set that high, then you are going to get a less detailed version than if you set it low. But if you do set it high, then you have a little bit more math for Flash to have to do. And we'll just leave the corner threshold and corner curve fit as normal, and you can experiment with all those later on. I'm going to click OK. It traces that bitmap and automatically creates vector art from it. I'm going to do a Command S to save it. I found for some reason you need to do a Command S and save before you can proceed with this, or else 5.5 has some issues, kind of locks up. Okay, but once it's saved, then we can keep going. And if I zoom in here, you can see that everything has been vectorized. If I get my subselection tool, you can see all of those little points that it has created. Okay. Well, I'm going to zoom out, get my main selection tool, hit V. I'm going to get rid of this other character that's standing beside my main character, get rid of that white space around the character, even going to get rid of the shadow. And then I'm going to highlight the character, right click on him, and convert to symbol. And I'm just going to name him Traced Bitmap. Click OK. And now you'll see that he's shown up in the library here. So I can drag out multiple instances of this character from the library at this point. And that's what ultimately you want to be able to do. Now I'm going to delete him from the stage. Hit save again, and I can even delete this bitmap if I'm no longer using it, and have only the traced bitmap vector art left to play with. Okay, so that is how you trace a bitmap automatically. Again, not quite as detailed as the previous method that we used to get art in there, but in some cases you don't need it quite that detailed. You can get away with just a traced bitmap. Okay, that does it for this tutorial. Next we'll talk about drawing from scratch using the tools in Flash.